Hey, this is Antonio. Welcome back to my channel. Now, who's ready for some fighting words? In this video, unfortunately, I'm here to give you bad news. Looks like Terence Crawford and Errol Spence, we will not be getting. So apparently, David Avanesyan will be facing Terence Crawford. So I guess with all the talk and all the speculation and all the back and forth and all the paperwork and all the the camps and promotions and all that, it looks more like it's Terence Crawford. It's not Errol Spence. It's Terence Crawford. Terence Crawford is the person holding this fight up. Or at least that's how it's coming across. Well, I guess I would say Terence Crawford is holding this fight up. He's the one who's facing another opponent that is not Errol Spence. He's the one who is not unifying or attempting to unify. It is Terence Crawford. So therefore, he's the one at fault. He's the reason why we are not getting the fight we want to see. He's the reason why, more than likely, when these two guys do face each other, they will not only be out of their prime, but they'll probably be at 154, both of them. And we are more than likely not going to want to see it by then. And now, more than anything, what do we run the risk of? We run the risk of one of them losing their O's. We run the risk of them not facing each other when they both have straps. Because if they go to 54, they got to fight 4 straps. So they're going to go to 54 basically barehanded, naked, not have anything on them, but their reputations. So if they go to 54, then do we really want to see it? Or do we want to see it as badly? Part of the allure of these two fighting is they're two top guys, the two top guys fighting with straps. They're two top guys in their prime fighting both with straps, and they could unify. If they go to 54, they're not unifying anything. If they go to 54, it's going to be a lot harder road because now they're dealing with guys who are a whole lot bigger and still have speed. And that's going to be a huge, huge factor. And I do see Errol Spence doing better at 54 than Terence Crawford, but I still don't want to see them fight at 54 because I don't feel like I don't feel as if we'll be getting or seeing the best of them if they fight at 54. I feel like these are the prime years at 47. I feel like that is the right weight for both of them. So I'm sad to report it. I know Errol Spence is probably punching holes in his wall at home. And also, I'm pretty sure, like I said, we run the risk of them never meeting at 147 pounds. Errol Spence is saying that, he can't make the weight. It's not fun making the weight. He could make it, but it's more of a sacrifice than he wants to take on. And he was only sticking around for the Terence Crawford fight. But now that it looks like David Avanesyan will be the next opponent for Terence Crawford, what's there to stick around for? Am I going to stick around and wait for you guys to fight? And what is there to stick around for? So that's a bummer, and it sucks. On top of that, of all opponents, David Avanesyan, we're talking about a guy who has 3 losses, and one of those losses came by KO. So, it's one thing if you're going to say, well, all right, I'm not fighting Errol Spence, but it's something else if you're going to say, I'm not fighting Errol Spence and I'm going to fight an opponent, at least on paper, is a whole lot less likely to give me competition or put me in a bind or scare or, bring me down a long road, hard road. So we don't get what we want, but we get the exact opposite. We get the complete and exact opposite of what we want. We get this fight. Nobody wants to see this. Listen, Terence, if you're listening, if you want to do something like this, you could have fought Boots Ennis. We'd be more than happy to watch you fight Boots Ennis. Virgil Hunter. We'll be more than happy to watch you fight Virgil Hunter. There's a lot of other guys that you could fight. You could fight, what is your name? Keith One-Time Thurman. We're cool with that. You could fight Danny Garcia. I'm cool with that. But David Avanesyan, I'm not okay with that. And I hope I'm speaking on behalf of the masses when I say I'm not okay with that. Nobody wants to see that. In the past, Terence Crawford, they say, he doesn't sell, his fights don't sell that well. Well, if you're giving people fights like this, they're not going to sell very well. I can tell you that. They're not going to sell very well. I'm not going to pay for it. Especially to watch you beat up somebody we all know you're going to beat. You know, at this point, you fighting David Avanesyan, Terence Crawford fighting David Avanesyan is the same as watching Floyd Mayweather do his exhibitions at this point. You know, you have Floyd Mayweather, who's not even training really. He's just staying in shape. And he's beating guys up and he's dancing in the ring. And when I see Terence Crawford in his prime facing David Avanesyan, I'm kind of, I get the same feeling. I just get the same feeling. It's not appealing to me. It doesn't make me wonder or bite my teeth and worry or anything like that. So those are my thoughts on that. I just feel like this is not a great fight. Like, if you're not going to give the people what they want to see, at least give them something entertaining. At least give them something competitive. At least give them something worthwhile. Keith Thurman would have been perfect. Why? Because it would have bridged the gap between the two promotions. And it would have given Terence Crawford a real opponent. A real opponent. But instead, we get David Avanesyan. You know, and you know, no knock to the man. Listen, I'm not knocking him for taking the fight. I'm pretty sure this is a good step up and a good fight for him. I'm pretty sure it's a good payday for him as well. I'm not knocking David Avanesyan. What I'm knocking is Terence Crawford. What I'm knocking is all the talk back and forth with Terence Crawford saying, you know, he wants this fight and he's the one advocating for this fight. And then out of nowhere, out of the blue, we get David Avanesyan. Errol Spence flat out said, I'm just staying here at 147 for this fight. And then we get David Avanesyan. So that's I don't know. That's my argument right now. That's what I'm annoyed about right now. And, you know, this is not going to win any fans over to Terence Crawford. Period. This is not going to win any fans over. And then on top of that, what if Terence Crawford does fight well, I guess he is fighting David Avanesyan. But what if the fight is way more competitive than we think, or at least on paper it should be? On paper, Terence Crawford should like cut through David Avanesyan like hot butter on a hot sunny day. You know, there should be no issues with this fight. It's easy money, as Floyd Mayweather would say. Easy money. And now, you know, but what if it's more competitive? Yeah, we still want to see Errol Spence, but it's like you couldn't get through this guy, which Errol Spence would literally steamroll over. You know, so it's, I don't know, not really happy with it. I've said it before, I guess I will say it again now. More than likely, when these two meet, if these two ever meet, it will definitely be at 54. A weight class that is not their own, and a weight class that they're probably gonna, well, I foresee Errol Spence ending his career at 160 pounds. But, you know, I feel like these are the prime years, and this is the perfect weight for both guys. With their height and just their overall physicality, their body structure, this 147 pounds is the perfect fighting weight for both guys. And if we want to see them at their peak, we want to see them at their prime and at their best, I feel like it's 147 pounds. But I seriously doubt Errol Spence is going to stick around. I seriously doubt it. I could be wrong, because the reality is it's taken this long and there's still just talks between the two promotions and camps. So let's just say if Errol Spence stuck around to after this fight, does the fight still get made? Who's to say it gets made? So now he's stuck around even longer. He's been inactive even longer. What's the sense of sticking around? There is no sense in sticking around. There literally is no sense in sticking around. So that's all I have to say. Basically, this ball dropping is on Terence Crawford. It's not on Errol Spence. It's on Terence Crawford. And I was riding with him. You know, I literally thought I was a PBC, and but we can't argue with the facts, people. Can't argue with the facts. Those are my thoughts. Drop your thoughts down below. I'd love to hear what you have to say. Do you agree with Terence Crawford fighting David Avanesyan? Do you think that these two will finally meet up and it'll be at 54 pounds? Drop your comments down below. I'd love to hear what you have to say. And as always, please like, please share, please subscribe to my channel.